Hello everyone, this is Running on Empty Food Review. Well, hello ladies and gentlemen, and everyone watching. This is Running on Empty Food Review. We're just adjusting the lighting here. I think that's good. We're set, we're ready to go. And I know the setting's unique. I know the setting is unique, it's different, but it's for a special occasion, truth be told. White Castle is one of those places that I try out every so often, every now and then. And I was thinking to myself, consider the type of holiday Thanksgiving is, right? You dress up in a costume. It's a cool, dark atmosphere. You go around, you get candy from you watch horror movies, you throw parties. And I thought this lighting and this atmosphere would kind of suit the mood of that type of holiday. So I decided to try and make it as dramatic as I possibly could. And this is what we're left with. Well, anyway, this is a pretty interesting slider of all things because, you have White Castle. They have their standard little White Castle burgers, but they're inventive. They're an inventive chain. They they do their own things. Sometimes they have seasonal releases, and this is one of them right here. This is their cheddar and apple butter turkey slider. And I remember a few years ago I tried out a few sliders for Thanksgiving that were turkey. They were turkey sliders, and they were okay. They weren't necessarily remarkable. They were just okay. And White Castle, they said, well, we got to up the ante today. We've got to get this up. We've got to get it going. We've got to bring back these seasonal releases for Thanksgiving. And this is what we're going to try and pull out of our heads and work with today. So, turkey, cheddar, and apple butter. Sometimes I put this little card here so I don't have to see myself. That's just why that fell. But this is what it looks like. I mean, it's your standard White Castle slider. What can I say? What more can I say? It's your standard White Castle slider, but with turkey. But with turkey, mind you. Admittedly, I would have wished it could have been a little fresher, truthfully. But it's not even. This is like 10 minutes old, and this is what it already looks like, which is a shame. I guess White Castle just doesn't really age the best. But we just gotta work with what we can. And, well, what is it exactly? Well, you have your turkey, you have cheddar cheese, and then you have, like, an apple butter, which is like, it's like a little cinnamon apple blend, kind of mixed together. And, that's what it is. It's supposed to be like a festive type of sandwich, holiday, seasonal, scrumptious treat. That instead of just going and getting the Thanksgiving turkey made up, why don't you just buy a Crave case of these and just feast away, That's what at least their marketing strategy is. I'm not saying whether you should do that or not. I'm just saying what they would want you to do. So that's what it is. You know what it is. I know what it is. We all know what it is. So we're just going to try it. And that's all where that stands. So this is the cheddar and apple butter turkey slider from White Castle going in. Yeah. Trying things out with the camera angle today. Big pre-Thanksgiving spectacular. Next video will be back to the usual, but changing it up, doing something special for this White Castle turkey thing. While I ate that turkey thing, I was kind of reflecting upon my, my last visit to White Castle, which was about 15 minutes ago. I went over to White Castle. I said, I'll get 4 burgers. 4 White Castle burgers. And I mean, it doesn't matter if you go to White Castle or if you go to their southern counterpart chain, Crystal Burgers. It's all the same from my experience. You go in, you get the sliders, you sit down, make yourself at home, make yourself comfortable, you start feasting away at said sliders. Eat them, you finish them. There's a lingering thought that's in your mind always, the entire time, it's there. And it's something that you gotta just block out, and it's something that's an acquired taste and an acquired sense, but it's something that you eventually just learn to block out. Where you just sit there and you keep thinking, what am I doing to myself with these things? You try not to just think about the consequences. You just gotta live in the moment when you're eating White Castle and Crystal. That's all I can say. It's as far as I'm gonna go. But that's all that I can really say when it comes down to that. If you're wondering, perchance, what the turkey slider tastes like, it's okay. It's alright. The turkey itself isn't anything to marvel over. And I think that's what we were kind of expecting, Who's gonna go to White Castle, get a dirt cheap turkey slider, and rave about how that tastes like fresh deli quality turkey right there? I don't think anyone is. When you come to White Castle, you have a certain expectation with you. You expect the food to be in a league of its own. Because if you tried to compare White Castle to something else, I think based on personal taste, you would either say it tastes excellent in comparison, or it's subpar at best. So mind you, the quality of the turkey isn't anything to rave about. It's White Castle grade turkey, that's all that I can say. It's in a league of its own. That's where that stands. Now secondly, the cheddar cheese. The cheddar cheese wasn't as flavorful as I really wish it could have been. If they're going to call something the cheddar and apple butter turkey sandwich, then you expect it to have the counterparts that are really supposed to stand out. The cheddar being one of them. You can't really taste the cheddar as much as you would have liked to, and that's a little disappointing. A lot of places have issues with the cheese. It's one of those things where if they don't put enough on, you can't really taste it. If you put too much on, that also detracts from it also. So it's one of those things, it's a tough thing to really get a good balance on, and that's understandable. Now, the biggest thing that I was a bit interested in, and what I really wanted to try this for, was the apple butter. I thought to myself, well, I've never really had that on a burger, let alone a White Castle turkey burger, so I wonder how it tastes. What it was, it's a little spread of cinnamon apple, and I thought to myself, I wonder how that's going to go in terms of the turkey. And believe it or not, I was shocked. This paired very well with it. If there's something to get this for, it is that cinnamon apple butter spread. Forget the cheddar cheese, just forget about it. It's going to be there, it may not be the star of the show, but that doesn't matter at this point. That cinnamon apple butter spread is what makes this. That is the selling point right there. It's not the turkey patty, it's not the cheddar cheese, it's that cinnamon apple spread right there. It's one of those things. you don't necessarily expect it to pair that well with a turkey burger and some cheddar cheese, especially with the cinnamon. You see, that's one of those things you might say, well, I don't know, it doesn't seem like it's really going to work out that well. But you take that leap of faith. You say, well, I'm going in. I'm diving in head first. No regrets. Forget about the consequences, and I'm going to just take that bite and try it out. And sure enough, lo and behold, it works out excellent, and it's very, very good. It took me by surprise, as a matter of fact, because without it, this would be an unremarkable turkey slider, where I would be sitting there and I would be saying, well, it's average, maybe just a little below average, nothing to rave about at all. But this spread makes it, I tell you that. Has this little bit of a sweetness and sugariness, of that hint of the cinnamon in there with the apple. It ties it all together, and it does a great job. It absolutely does. So with that being said, I would highly recommend getting this, if anything, just for that apple butter spread on it, because that's what makes this thing. And that's what makes it. Anything else, I would have said no. Don't bother, don't waste your time on it. But that apple butter spread really does kind of propel this thing forward and make it, instead of just being some stupid novelty that, alright, well, I wasted a dollar on it. Instead, it says, wow, this is actually a lot better than I expected it to be, and I found myself enjoying this. So that spread makes it. It really does. Price-wise, it's $1, so inexpensive completely and totally. Though, I mean, if you look historically, they used to price these sliders at like 10 cents a piece, and now it's $1, but put that aside. It's affordable for what it is. It's a little holiday novelty item, and I mean, all things considered, I think it's really good with that spread on it. Don't expect too much out of the turkey patty or too much out of that cheddar cheese slice, but that apple butter will tie it all together, and you won't be really thinking about that after you're able to kind of taste that very interesting but very good combination on this turkey sandwich. So out of 10, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to be giving this, I'm going to give it a 9.0 out of 10. Because it exceeded my expectations. I was expecting, if it was going to be bad, this is going to be like a 5 out of 10. But it prevailed, it came forward, it worked wonders, it did its miracle, and sure enough, I'm not disappointed in the very least. So it was very good, very enjoyable, and really took me by surprise in that regard. So that's all that I have for you, ladies and gentlemen. Again, we'll be changing up the scenery in the next one. And until then, thank you for watching, take care, and today's review was for the Cheddar Apple Butter Slider, Turkey Slider, from White Castle. Thank you for watching, take care, and have a great day.